Namanda, Vitsanamanda, 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 Vinamanda, 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 Vinamanda.
Good morning.
Good morning, Gary.
My name is Gary Oda, and I would like to thank you for attending this morning's Dharma service. We will have a New Year's celebration after the service. Hope you can join us. We will begin this service with a moment of quiet sitting. Reverend C.J. Dunford will strike the bell, and we will sit for 1 or 2 minutes to quiet our minds and prepare to hear the Dharma. Then he will strike the bell again, and we will continue the service.
Good morning, everyone. Before we start our little meditation, I would encourage you to squeeze in real tight in the pews. Today's our New Year's Day party, so there's going to be a lot of people, so let's make sure we have room for everybody. Thank you. As the sound of the bell begins to fade in our ears, let's take a moment to slow down together. Maybe we can plant our feet firmly on the ground, really press into the ground, feel our connection with the earth. The earth does so much for us. That's why in many traditions, she's called Mother. The earth is how we are connected to one another. The gifts of the earth keep us alive. These are things we all share. Moving up in our attention to our bodies, we might notice our shoulders. Maybe wiggle the shoulders a little bit to relieve some aching or tension, tightness. And when we breathe in slowly, we can feel our chests expand, our bellies expand, and then breathing out very slowly, very gently. We might feel our shoulders drop just a little bit more into a sense of presence and ease. As we breathe in, we're breathing in the same air. And as we breathe out, we're sharing that same air. This is another way in which we're all literally connected to one another. Something we can never escape. So as we continue throughout our service today and our New Year's celebration and into our weeks, if we can take just a moment to practice this mindfulness of our breathing, our rooting into the earth, then we're practicing the Buddha Dharma. I'll ring the bell again to draw our moment of mindfulness to a close, but please feel free to return to that moment whenever you need it. Please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Namo Amida Butsu.
Reverend CJ will now chant Jusei Ge, which is on page 93 of the Purple Service Book.
The Gatha, or poem, Jusei Ge, comes from the larger Sutra of Immeasurable Life, one of our 3 Pure Land Buddhist sutras. In that sutra, the Bodhisattva Dharmakara, who becomes Amida Buddha, declares to the Buddha of that day, Buddha Lokeshvara Raja, their intention to become a Buddha. The Jusei Ge contains 3 sacred vows. Each refer to Dharmakara's pledge to 1. Establish the most incomparable vow in the world. 2. To become a great provider and save the poor and the suffering. And 3. To attain Buddhahood and have the name Namo Amida Butsu heard throughout the 10 quarters of the universe. Jusei Ge.
고사이 주야군함 가이시에게 메시콘모람 헤이소 그쇼아그도 드랍젠 슈몽 고소졸만소 이오로지포 니지갑슈주키 텐콜옴프겐 이슈카이홀소 고세크로크호 조로다이슈추 세포시시크 그요이사이브 그소크슈토크홈 감내신조만 토크이산가이오 뇨붓무게치 쓰랍미프쇼 간가쿠에릭 돌시사이쇼솜 시간야고카 라이센오감도 고크쇼텐닌 돌진묘케 남한다베 남한다베 감미시그도그 묘도세이사이 돌혼보다히심 오조음 나무 아미다 붓 나무 아미다 붓
Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu, Namanda, Namanda Butsu, Namanda, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda.
Please rise if you are able to follow along with the Gatha Remind Me, which is on the handout. Please remain standing for the reading of the three treasures. 1.
Okay, this is a good reminder for me right now. Let's be patient. It's for you, Taka. All right, Happy New Year, everyone. For this song, just try to catch us on the, you have the lyrics in front of you. Try to catch us in the chorus on the second Remind Me. Sorry, my mic. On the second Remind Me. And just jump in however you want. You could sing it, you can say it, you can shout it. Just come in and bring the energy. Okay, and also one more tricky thing, we're gonna actually repeat the chorus line 4 times every time. Okay, like the same way it is at the end. All right, you ready? You ready? We got it. Okay, bye, Taka. Remind me if I stray too far from the Dharma. Remind me to be kind and patient too. Remind me, expect nothing in return. Remind me always be good to you. Won't you remind me? Remind me, 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 hey, you're doing good. Remind me, don't waste time stroking my ego. Remind me there is no good or bad news. Remind me the world is always changing. Remind me can live life sitting in the pews. Won't you remind me? You can join in all the time. Come on, remind me. Won't you remind me? Remind me. Won't you remind me? Remind me. Won't you remind me? Remind me. Remind me, love is in all places. Remind me, do pure and beautiful deeds. Remind me to breathe and be mindful. Remind me in Gasho there is peace. Won't you remind me? Come on. Remind me, won't you remind me? Remind me, oh, won't you remind me? Remind me, 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 one more time. Won't you remind me? Remind me. Nice, good finish. Hanson, I heard you. Good job, everyone. He's gone. Keep our patience.
Oh, I forgot.
I will now recite 3 treasures on page 8 of the purple service book. Please free to follow along. Three treasures. 1. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teaching of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not realize the truth in this life, when will it be realized? Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in the Buddha. May we absorb ourselves in the principle of the way of enlightenment and awaken ourselves to the supreme will. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May we live in harmony in the great assembly as disciples of the Buddha and be free from all hindrances, become units of pure accord in the life of harmony, in the spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriad ages of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear it and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Namo Davatsu. Namo Davatsu. Namo Davatsu. You may be seated. We will now have a Dharma message by Reverend C.J.
Thank you, Gary. Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. Please join me in Gassho as I read an English translation of a verse from Jusege, which we just chanted together. For the sake of all beings, I will open the Dharma store and universally bestow its treasure of virtue upon them. Among the multitudes of beings, I will always preach the Dharma with a lion's roar. Ishu kai ho zo, kose ku doku ho, jo o dai shu chu, seppo shi shi ku. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 This passage for today's Gosandai comes from the Jusege, and the Jusege is part of the larger sutra where Bodhisattva Dharmakara or Amida Buddha establishes their three sacred vows, which refer to Dharmakara's pledge to, number 1, establish the most incomparable vow in the world. We call this the primal vow. Become a great provider and save the poor and the suffering. And 3, to attain Buddhahood and have the name Namo Amida Butsu heard throughout the 10 quarters of the universe. I recall the power that this particular passage on the screen here had on me nearly 12 years ago when I first started attending Berkeley Buddhist Temple. And this message of universality and courage speaks to me still very deeply today. We often chant Jusei-ge at our temples because it contains succinctly a deep expression of our teachings. And today I want to talk about this excerpt from the Jusei-ge because I wanted to talk about the importance of two very important concepts in the teachings of Jodo Shinshu. That's universality and courage. Universality is defined as the quality of being true or appropriate in all situations. In our tradition of Jodo Shinshu, Hongan is literally translated as primal vow, because the first character, Hon, means main, primary, or origin. And Gan is often translated as petition, request, vow, wish, or hope. In our tradition, Hongan comes from the origin story of Amida Buddha and is that Buddha's promise or wish, their vow to liberate all beings, no matter how evil or good, how wise or foolish, rich or poor, or healthy or sick that they may be. One of the reasons we gather at temple is to express our gratitude for this wish for universal liberation. However, another translation of Hongan is universal promise. This translation is an interpretation of Hongan based on our teachings that make the definition a bit more clear, and it speaks to the Buddha's non-discriminative wisdom to free everybody. This promise is not one just for Buddhists or for those who come to temple every Sunday. No, it's a promise of liberation that is true and appropriate in all situations. The universal nature of Hongan is expressed in the passage we're thinking about today, when we gather together to learn the Buddha Dharma and to pursue freedom. For the sake of all beings, I will open the Dharma store and universally bestow its treasure of virtue upon them. This is the universal promise of the Buddha, to share the wisdom and virtue of the Buddha Dharma so that we may all become free. The wisdom of the Buddha Dharma is truly universal, as it is always true, no matter what our circumstances. We are all interconnected. Everything we do affects ourselves and others. We experience discomfort and harm ourselves and others due to our self-centeredness. It doesn't matter if we're Christians, Jews, Muslims, Buddhists, whether we believe in one God, many deities, or no gods at all. The rules, the law of truth is always true. These other religious traditions may have their own perspectives on interdependence and karma, but no one is able to refute the truth of the Buddha Dharma. These laws are always true, and thus the Buddha Dharma is universal. And so we gather here to learn this truth and unlearn our self-centeredness in community. To have this opportunity to do this together is a treasure. Our learning, our growth, and our change come about more deeply through understanding the Buddha Dharma. And this change doesn't stop once we leave the temple. We can observe the truth of the Buddha Dharma in every waking moment of our lives. From our arguments with our friends or our enemies, to tender moments with loved ones, to the tedium of our jobs or school. We must pay attention and critically examine whether we are truly living in accordance with the teachings. It is for this reason we need courage. Courage is defined as strength in the face of oppression, pain, and/or grief. I would expand that definition to strength in the face of uncertainty and discomfort as well. To closely examine our own lives, looking into our self-centeredness and carelessness in our relationships, requires a great deal of courage. It's quite easy and cowardly to think that we're always right and that others need to change. Conversely, it's just as easy to put ourselves down constantly and feel like we are the only ones who need to change in the world. It requires a great deal of courage to look deeply into our karmic circumstances to understand what causes and conditions have led us to not live in accord with the Buddha Dharma. It requires a great deal of courage to examine our relationships with others and the political beliefs that we hold, to work through this conflict and to find compassion for both ourselves and for others. Pure Land Master Dao Cho, my favorite Pure Land Master, quotes Bodhisattva Nagarjuna, who's our second Pure Land Master, in considering how we learn, study, and internalize the Buddha Dharma in saying, hearers of the Buddha Dharma should be deeply attentive, as if seeking to quench their thirst. They should single-mindedly ponder on the meaning of its words, rejoice at hearing the Dharma, and respond to it with sorrow and joy. Expound the Dharma to such people. If we read between the lines in this passage, we find that those who truly hear the Buddha Dharma are careful, being deeply attentive, carefully considering its meaning, expressing joy and gratitude for the opportunity to encounter the Buddha Dharma. What I believe is also implied here is that a great deal of courage comes about in our lives when we think how deeply we need to consider who we are, not just as individuals, but in community. We might respond with sorrow and joy. We will inevitably feel sorrow because all of us learn how inverted our thinking is, how self-centered and perhaps self-righteous we may be at times. However, we may also respond with joy at the chance to encounter these teachings, and joy in encountering the universal promise of our liberation and a chance to change. Another act of courage that is expressed in the universal promise of the Buddha is in sharing the Buddha Dharma with others. The passage from the Jusege states, "Among the multitudes of beings, I will always preach the Dharma with a lion's roar." Can the Dharma school students help me out? Who wants to roar like a lion? Yes, let's do it. Everybody do it. Ooh, you gave me chills. Our founder, Venerable Shinran, understood that we are all limited by our obscuring passions. Our greed, our jealousy, and self-centeredness is something that each of us must carefully examine, not only as individuals, but as communities. Most of us, even though our teachings reveal this limitedness to us, go along our daily lives blissfully unaware of these obscuring passions. However, to be given the clarity of understanding that our limitedness gets in the way of our liberation, and not to share that wisdom with others is a form of self-centeredness. If I'm honest, chanting this passage about preaching the Dharma with a lion's roar clarified my own desire to become a Buddhist teacher. Throughout my life, I've experienced and witnessed many occurrences of pain and suffering brought on by selfishness and by discrimination. Much of it caused by myself, and much of it caused by others. Ever since I was 19, activism and social justice have been an important part of my life. My karma has led me to pursue teaching and ministry today, and I aspire to preach the Dharma with the fierce courage of a lion's roar. Each of us is here today and has their own karma, and so the way we display courage in sharing the Buddha Dharma will be different for each of us. However, this is part of our path in following the Buddha way. Some of us may be teachers, and so we can share the teachings directly. Others may have different careers where we do not have the opportunity to do so. But all of us can courageously embrace sharing the Buddha Dharma through our actions and through our words, even if not directly mentioning the words of the Buddha. It is said that actions speak louder than words, and so our behavior is just as important when it comes to sharing the Buddha Dharma in this world. We can have the courage to be kind. We can have the courage to work through conflict with love. We can have the courage to call out injustice and hold ourselves and others accountable for harm. Very importantly, not just here at Temple, but out in the world, where our bosses might take advantage of coworkers and our governments engage in unconscionable wars against innocent people. Over the past few weeks, I've been on medical leave, and I've seen the cowardly and hateful actions taken by our government. Of course, none of this hatred is new. Millions of indigenous peoples were genocided in the founding of the country. a country built on the backs of enslaved peoples, kidnapped from Africa. Think of that. Millions upon millions of people with their own stories, their own lives, their own hopes and dreams, killed for the sake of American empire. What we see happening now under our federal government is not new, but we can all see it much more clearly today, thanks to our phones and social media. While it's natural for us to fear what might happen to us, to our families, to our loved ones, even to our temple, in resisting this terrible violence, I'd like for us to witness very clearly what is happening now to others and to some of our own communities. Our fear will not save us. Complying with tyranny will not save us. Standing together in courage, with a clear vision of our interdependence and caring for one another will lessen suffering both here at the heart of the US empire and abroad. During Shinran's time, many people were afraid of the government. He lost his ordination. He was no longer considered a monk. And because of this, he saw that what the government did to himself and his friends, the people of the Nembutsu faith, was wrong, and he called it out in his writing. A lot of people, a lot of Buddhist teachers, Jodo Shinshu teachers, don't want to talk about this. But this act of courage is very important. And so this is part of the courage of preaching with the lion's roar. Okay. I know that some of us as Jodo Shinshu Buddhists who've been studying the teachings for a very long time may think of this passage that we read today as the aspiration only of Amida Buddha. But the purpose of Buddhism is to become a Buddha. Shigaraki Sensei called a Buddha a free person. What better role model can we have than Amida Buddha? Our own aspiration, when I say Namo Amida Butsu, is to embrace the Buddha's universal promise of liberation as my own. And so with a Nembutsu on my lips, I also embrace this aspiration for universal liberation. I'd like to conclude my Dharma message for today by reading this passage from the Jusege once more. Please join me in Gassho, and if you'd like, we can do a roar right before we do the Nembutsu. For the sake of all beings, I will open the Dharma store and universally bestow its treasure of virtue upon them. Among the multitudes of beings, I will always preach the Dharma with a lion's roar. Roar, let's roar. Rah! Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu, Namanda, 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 Namanda.
Thank you, Reverend CJ, for your wonderful message. Please rise if you are able to follow along with the Gatha, Like Blossoms, which is on page 208 of the Purple Service Book.
I'm sorry for underestimating you last time. You all totally knew that song. My bad. All right, but this one, join in, please. We'll do it twice, okay? Like cherry blossoms are the hearts that tomorrow they think they might, for who can tell? But there may be a tempest in the night. Like cherry blossoms are the hearts that tomorrow they think they might, for who can tell? But there may be a tempest in the night. There may be a tempest in the night.
You may be seated. We will now have the installation of the 2026 BBT officers.
Hi, everybody. Happy New Year. So happy to see everybody here today in person and those watching remotely. Before we start the installation of the BBT officers, I would also like to introduce the board members as well. We have 21 board members in addition to our officers. So if you're in the house, just raise your hand or stand up. So we have, let's see here, Lauren Bond, Tony Hale, Judy Kono, myself, Bradley Menda, Wayne Sugihara, Karen Sugiyama, Dwayne Yamasaki. We have Sarah Jotoku, Karen Kato, Casey Mukai, Jeff Nagafuji, Art Nishimura, Joyce Oishi, and our 2026 cabinet, or not cabinet, but slate who just got sworn in this calendar year, Don Hamasaki, Tina Iwasaki, Ryan Matsuda, Andy Maeda, Tara Umamoto, and our newest board member, Sky Nikaido, as well. So welcome to Sky to our board. And then I also do want to recognize some of our outgoing board members as well, because with every year we have folks who join the board and people who leave the board. And so I like to recognize our outgoing board members for many, many years of service to the temple, and hopefully continued years of service to the temple and maybe other capacities. But we have Ron Hiraga, Sandra Takeda, and Mimi Kagehiro as well. So thank you to the three of them for your dedication. And now we'll transition into the installation of the BBT officers, and I'll call up each of the officers' names, and if you don't mind to come up to the front here, Reverend CJ will help us with this process as well. So I'll start with Finance Manager Eric Lindquist. We have Treasurer Andy Maeda and Karen Sugiyama, and if you want to offer incense too, if you don't mind. We have Recording Secretary Sarah Jotoku, Vice President of Membership Tony Hale, Vice President Social Services Lena Yin and Tina Iwasaki or Christina Iwasaki, Vice President of Religious Programs Lauren Bond, and myself will be serving as president for this upcoming calendar year as well.
I'd like to thank you on behalf of myself and Reverend Kuhara for all the hard work that you're about to do and have been doing for the temple. For everyone else, the board is an essential part of governing our temple. They help us with fundraising, how we spend our money, how we can hold events. They're so important. Everything they do is super important. So one more round of applause, please. Another important thing to mention is that what they do is an act of dana. These are not paid positions. It's all volunteer work, so it's deeply, deeply appreciated. So again, thank you very much. I would like to do our installation. So what I will do is have you join me in Gassho, please. And I will read 2 lines on this sheet. Then you will repeat them, and then I'll keep going. We'll just do that back and forth, and then it'll be pretty self-explanatory. I take office in the Berkeley Buddhist Temple. Aware that it will require a commitment of time and effort. I will do my best to lead. Through both action and direction. Referring to the Buddha Dharma as my guide. I affirm this pledge. By taking refuge in the 3 treasures. I take refuge in the Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma. I take refuge in the Sangha. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Thank you very much.
Oh, do we have? Oh, I guess we're gonna do a photo. One sec.
I'll come down there.
Angle a little bit. Push in like we spend 2 hours together every month on Zoom.
Sometimes in person.
That's true.
Sushi.
One more time. One more sushi. One more sushi. Okay, thank you. Thank
We will now have Dharma School staff recognition.
Hi, everybody. It's me again. This is one of the probably one of the important parts of our year as well. As we start the new year, we also take some time to reflect on the prior year and show gratitude for all the temple volunteers and individuals who've dedicated so much time and energy to make the temple what it is today. And one of the groups that we'd like to recognize right now are our Dharma School teachers. Dharma School teachers spend so much time with the children, creating curriculum and items for them to learn about the Dharma, make it applicable to their everyday lives. And I think the entire Sangha, we're grateful for the effort that the teachers put into all of that work and helping our young people. So without further ado, I'd like to call up our Dharma School teachers, if you don't mind, to offer incense as well. And then the temple has a small token of our appreciation for everything that you've done and your dedication to the temple. So I'd like to call Stacy Ueda, our Dharma School superintendent. you want to stay up? We'll do a picture. Okay. And then we have Karen Kato. We have Joyce Oishi. We have Akemi Hamai. And we also have Irene Wells as well. Is Irene Sensei? Oh yeah, Irene's good. Oh yeah, she's good. And then I think Akemi Sensei is doing double duty, helping with Mochitsuki. So we're all grateful for that too. Thanks, Irene. Should we do a picture? Okay. One more round of applause for our Dharma School teachers, everyone. Oh, okay.
Sushi again. Sushi. One more. Sushi. Okay, great. Thank you.
We will now have temple volunteer recognition.
All right. So again, it's great to have so many individuals contribute their time and energy to the temple. These are a few of the individuals, our temple volunteers, who we'd like to recognize. I'll call off their names. Some might be here, some might not. So I'll just call off the names, and if everybody can just maybe hold your round of applause till the end, that'd probably be the best. So our temple office staff, we have Lorene Nakagiri, Carolyn Fernandez, Yuki Otake. We have our Padma, which is our monthly newsletter, Padma editor, Karen Sugiyama. We have our maintenance crew, Craig Griffin leads that up. Craig. Bringing music every week to the temple, Emiko Katsumoto and D.I. Lewis. Our live streaming team, David Lyon, Tony Hale, Ryan Matsuda, Myron Jung. And then last but not least, but holding everything together as well in the background, is our Toban coordinators. So Pat Takeda, Susan Gabriel, keeping everything organized, including today's events as well. So thank you to the two of them. And that concludes this portion of recognition. So I'll turn it back over to Gary.
I'd like to welcome some new guests. As I call your name, can you please stand and wave so we can see you? Monday. Kai. Becky. Kyra. Okay. Yuhan. Arabella. Julia. Hachiko. Samuel. And Sarah. I hope you can join us after the service for our celebrations. Now, I will read the announcements that have been submitted. Suzuki Bazaar team is recruiting Sitski Bazaar team is looking for volunteers and co-chairs to help them plan the 2026 Satsuki Bazaar, which is on May 17th, and make the magic happen. It's a great team for people who want, and we want you to join. If you're interested, reach out to Karen Kato at kkato@berkeleybuddhisttemple.org. Online meditation and discussion, Wednesday, January 21st at 7 p.m. Sign-up link is on our website. BBT Dharmanar monthly online study session, Thursday, January 29th at 6:30 p.m. Topic is death. Sign-up link is on our website also. College Welcome Night on Friday, February 6th at 6 p.m. This is an in-person event to welcome college-age young people to the temple. There will be a short service, an icebreaker, and activities led by Berkeley Nikkei Student Union, and dinner. Hope you can join us. Sign us link is on our website and included in our weekly email. BBT New Year celebration today, immediately after service. 10:30 a.m. Mochizuki is in the parking lot. At 11 a.m., food is served in the social hall. While enjoying New Year bites, we will have bingo games. At 12:10, taiko performance by the BBT Taiko group in the courtyard. We also have a bounce house in the courtyard for children. We kindly ask parents to supervise your children while they are in the bounce house.
Hi everyone, sorry, one more announcement. I'm Tara, I use her pronouns, and the Berkeley Buddhist Temple partners with some other organizations, such as JSA, Japanese American Women Alumni Association, Nikkei Student Union at UC Berkeley, and we all, among others, we're gonna have, we're calling it Connecting Across Generations, Conversations in Career Exploration. It'll be on Saturday, February 7th at 3 p.m. At the Jodo Shinshu Center, just on Durant. And so it's going to be open to anyone across all careers, at all stages of careers, hoping just for us all to kind of connect with each other. And there will also be some snacks provided. So yeah, if you can join us, all of the information went out in the, I think, weekly email. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Sorry, we know it's been a full service. One more quick announcement. I'm Scott. I'm son-in-law of Evelyn and husband of Antonia. And we're here just to make a quick announcement about something that you may have seen in Wheel of Dharma or in Ichibe, which is the Gila River Connections event that's happening in Arizona, February 19th and 20th. This is a Gila River pilgrimage to the campsite. There hasn't been one in 20 years. And our family is organizing it together with the Arizona JCL and also with the Gila River Indian tribe there. And it's going to be happening Thursday and Friday, February 19th and 20th. There's going to be a film showing of Antonia's new film, Taking Our Place, about the connections between the people who were in camp there and also the Gila River Indians who were there. There's going to be panels. There's going to be a talk by the Arizona JCL about baseball in the camps. There's going to be an obon dancing. There's all kinds of things. So If you're interested in flying out to Arizona or driving out, or if you know folks who are in Arizona who you think might be interested, it's completely free. It's going to be a really special community event. If you want to find out more, you can find either Evelyn or myself. You can also send an email to gilariverconnections@gmail.com, gilariverconnections@gmail.com, and we can give you all the information. Do you want to add anything?
No, I think there's a leaflet that's posted also there. And so if anybody want to ask questions or whatever, please approach us.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks
you.
very much.
Thank
Happy
you.
New Year. Okay.
Okay, we're almost done. Thank you, Gary, for being a wonderful chairperson today. Thank you to our live streaming team for helping with live streaming today's service. Thank you to Di and Lauren for leading the Gathas so beautifully. Thank you to our January, February, and March Tobans for assisting with their New Year's party. And thank you to everyone for lending a hand to make this celebration so fun and successful. Also, thank you to Tara for being an excellent minister's assistant. This will conclude today's service. Thank you for joining us both in person and virtually.